all are equal, all are free, and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness.
President Obama on his inauguration as the first black president of the nation. Whatever your politics, January 21st, 2009 is a watershed moment in the history of the United States. It was a long time coming, a difficult path from the Freedom Rides to Montgomery bus boycott, Freedom Summer, then the march from Selma to Montgomery, thousands of people standing up to demand a seat at the table for Americans of all races. But before any of that, there was a dinner in 1901. President Theodore Roosevelt invited well-known African-American educator Booker T. Washington to the White House for a friendly dinner. It was the first time an African-American had ever been invited to the White House for dinner. And it shocked the nation and the world, for that matter, creating an international scandal that lasted for years. But it also changed America. Joining me now is Deborah Davis. Her book, a new book at that, is Guest of Honor, Booker T. Washington, Theodore Roosevelt, and the White House Dinner That Shocked the Nation. Thank you for joining me tonight. And thank you for the book. How did this dinner come about, and why was it so important?
Well, it's unbelievable, Reverend, to us today that a dinner could have such an impact on the world. But this particular dinner started out very innocently. Theodore Roosevelt was consulting Booker T. Washington on matters in the South, and they had an office meeting scheduled. And at the last minute, Roosevelt decided that he would extend the invitation to dinner. And he hesitated for 1 minute. And then thought, no, I wasn't brought up that way. I have to send this invitation out, regardless of the consequences. And
so Roosevelt actually hesitated before he sent it out?
He did. He hesitated. And Booker T. Washington hesitated for a moment before he accepted the invitation, knowing full well that there would be tremendous consequences.
Now, one thing that was very interesting to me in the book is President Roosevelt talked to Mark Twain about this.
He did, and he consulted Mark Twain because there was such a firestorm of publicity, negative publicity, about this action that Roosevelt started to get a little worried. Did I do the right thing? And he asked Mark Twain, what do you think? Mark Twain said, you should have thought twice. That was not a good idea. And the reason for that was that many people believed that the president had no business expressing his personal feelings about race in the White House.
Now, Twain said that despite the fact that Twain himself had been one that had praised Washington and said that Theodore Roosevelt couldn't tie Booker T. Washington's shoes.
Well, actually, he said he wasn't fit to untie his shoelaces, which is even better.
Which is, or worse, depending on Abraham Lincoln met Frederick Douglass at the White House, but Roosevelt crossed the line. The line was inviting him to dinner.
Exactly. There had been several blacks who had office appointments at the White House, and blacks built the White House, they worked at the White House, but never in the history of the country had an African American been invited to sit at the president's table.
Now, there was a lot of outrage in the South. What about the North?
The North was a little better. I mean, nothing like the South, but there was still outrage there that the president, too, had crossed a line.
How did you learn about this?
Very funny where it came from. I was listening to John McCain's concession speech on election night, and he mentioned this historic dinner and the scandal that it had caused. And I had never heard of it, and frankly, most Americans haven't heard of it. It's one of those great unexplored moments in history.
Now, also in the book, you have about how African Americans criticized Booker T. Washington over this.
They did. Many of them did because they were scared. They knew that there would be tremendous consequences for what he had done, and there were. I mean,
there was a threat even made about we've got to kill 1,000 of them so they'll know their place.
Well, this particular quote came from, of all places, a U.S. senator.
A U.S. senator?
Yes.
Said that we've got to kill 1,000 blacks. So
we will have to kill 1,000. He didn't say blacks.
Yeah, he used the N-word.
He used the N-word. before they will know their place again. And his name, appropriately, was Pitchfork Ben Tillman from South Carolina. But this was a common response.
Wow, it's amazing. But it also shows how far we've come from a Booker T. Washington as a huge controversy, having dinner in the White House, to now every night a black president and his family has dinner in the White House.
And not only do they have dinner, he's the host.
And he invites who he wants. Deborah Davis, this is the book, Guest of Honor. It's a book that I wish you a lot of luck with, and I hope people will read it. It's a time in American history we should really know about. We'll be right back.
Thank you.